So the summer battle for slide dominance is on, and interestingly enough, it's between two slides from the same brand. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and today I'm comparing the Adidas YEEZY Slide to the Adidas Adilette 22. And in today's video, I'm gonna help you figure out which one of these two slides is best for you. So if you watch my channel, you've probably seen my full reviews of both of these shoes. In fact, I just dropped the review for this shoe yesterday. And if you'd like to check out either of these shoes more in depth, I've made sure to leave links to those reviews in the description below. Today's video though is gonna be more of a comparison between these two shoes and talking about the differences and some of the pros and cons of the Adidas Adilettes versus the Adidas YEEZY Slides. And also, if you'd like to grab either of these two slides, or maybe even both, I've made sure to leave affiliate links to GOAT in the description below. But with all that being said, let's dive right into the comparison. So if you're watching this video, you're probably pretty familiar with the drama between Kanye West and Adidas over Kanye West thinking that Adidas copied his YEEZY Slide. I mean, yes, the YEEZY Slide is a one-piece construction and also sort of a minimal and oversized slide. And yes, in a lot of ways, that's pretty much exactly what the Adidas Adilette 22 is, but also they're both slides and they both look like slides. I don't think any of these shoes are really groundbreaking. I mean, sure, the Adidas Adilette 22 comes in colors that are very reminiscent of other YEEZY Slides and YEEZY shoes, but at the same time, it's green and tan. There's a lot of green and tan slides out there. Maybe not in the same sort of mixed or marbleized way that these are, but there are a lot of green and tan slides out there. And while Kanye West does have some of the most popular green and tan slides out there, it's not like he has ownership over any specific color. What I will say, and what I have said in the review of this shoe, I do think it is a little bit weird that Adidas didn't consult him and talk to him about creating a shoe that is in a lot of ways a budget version of his shoe, but at the same time, they don't have to. They're the bigger brand. They're the one who has him signed to a contract. They're the ones in control, so they can really do whatever they want. But personally, I do see where Kanye West is coming from, and I also would be kind of offended if I was in his position. All of that being said though, let's find out which one of these two slides is actually the best. Now let's start things off with the price point. So the brand new Adidas Adilette 22 comes in at a pretty hefty retail price of $55. On the other side, we've got the Adidas YEEZY Slide, which initially released at $55, but now has a retail price of $60. At the time of recording this video, the Adidas Adilette 22 has not officially released. There's been a very small limited run of these shoes released through the Adidas app, but that's about it. And because of that, the only way to grab a pair of these shoes is by paying resale. However, I think a few months after the release of this shoe, and maybe I'll be wrong, and if you're watching this video a few months down the road, let me know in the comment section down below, but a few months after the release of this shoe, I think this shoe should be pretty easy to find on store shelves and probably also on Adidas's website. However, when it comes to the Adidas YEEZY Slide, even though this shoe has a very similar retail price to that of the Adilette 22's, $60, it's $5 more. The problem is this shoe is incredibly difficult to get. In fact, if you're not able to win a raffle for this shoe on the Adidas Confirmed app or through a local boutique, your chances of getting these for retail are slim to none. In fact, I've literally never been able to grab a pair of these for retail. Every pair that I have, I paid resale for. And that right there is the problem. The Adidas YEEZY Slide is really only accessible to people who can drop $150 to $200 for a pair of slides, which in my opinion is way too much money. And I know I'm a hypocrite because I've bought multiple of these slides for resale, but seriously, $150 to $200 is way too much for a pair of slides. So in the pricing and availability battle between the Adilette 22s and the YEEZY Slides, the Adilette 22s win hands down. And even if you have to grab a pair of these for resale, the resale price isn't that crazy. It's like $80, which sure is $25 more than the retail price, but it could be worse. But now let's get into the design. This time around, let's start things off with the Adidas YEEZY Slide. Since the shoe's release back in 2019, this shoe has become incredibly popular, and a lot of that has to do with the design of this shoe. According to Kanye, the design of this shoe is heavily inspired by Japanese footwear, and it also comes in a very minimal and almost monolithic form. I mean, this shoe is instantly recognizable. Even though there are tons of fakes out there and people copying this shoe, when you see a pair of YEEZY Slides, unless you're completely not in the know, you know exactly what that shoe is. And while this design might not be for everybody, you can't deny the fact that this shoe has a very simple and clean look that's really easy to match with pretty much anything. But now let's get to the Adidas Adilette 22, which as the name would suggest, just dropped in 2022. So apparently the inspiration behind the design of this crazy looking shoe is the topography of Mars, basically what Mars would look like if you looked at it on a 3D map. And I've got to say that this slide is definitely out there. This is not a slide that everyone will love. Personally, I think the slide is really cool. I love 3D printing, and it really looks like it's been 3D printed, which I thought was a really cool aesthetic. In fact, that's what I thought they were going for before I heard about the whole Mars topography thing. And if you're going for a very eye-catching piece of footwear, this is not a bad way to go. Now, there are a few details about this shoe that I don't like this text on the lateral side that says the brand with 3 stripes. I feel like that's unnecessary, but maybe they added that to sort of differentiate it from the Yeezys. And also, there are a few angles of this shoe that when you look at them, you're like, not a huge fan of that, but It's really only the back of the shoe, and that's my own personal opinion, and again, it's really in the eye of the beholder. You can love it, you can hate it, just depends on what you think personally. So if I were to pick one of these shoes based on the overall design, I would have to go with the Adidas YEEZY Slides, not only because, in my opinion, it's a more wearable shoe, but because I think this shoe will stand the test of time. I think they could release this shoe a decade, 2 decades down the road, and it would still be relatively in fashion because this shoe is inspired by something that's thousands of years old. Whereas with this shoe, this is a very of-the-moment shoe. This shoe has a very specific inspiration and one that I don't think will always be in vogue. So design-wise, I'm giving the edge to the YEEZY Slide. But now let's talk about comfort, and what's interesting about these two shoes is that they're both made of injected EVA foam. However, they both feel very different on foot. So starting off with the Adilette 22, this shoe features, like I said, injected EVA foam. It's a one-piece construction, it's all the same material. One thing that's kind of interesting about this material is that apparently it's 17% plant-based, so apparently 17% of this shoe is made of sugarcane, which I think is kind of wild. I'm down with that, but it's definitely a wild thing. And comfort-wise, yeah, it's fine. It's very soft underfoot, it's a very comfortable slide, it's significantly more comfortable than the standard Adilette, at least in my opinion, and it's a shoe that I would be fine to wear all day, no complaints. But then we get to the Adidas YEEZY Slides, and I've got to say that this shoe, in my opinion, is significantly more comfortable. The EVA foam used in the YEEZY Slides, for whatever reason, is significantly softer. Maybe it's less dense. I don't know exactly what difference there is in the actual makeup of the EVA foam, but for whatever reason, this shoe is so much softer underfoot. I mean, if I had to compare the softness of the YEEZY Slides to another pair of shoes, if you're familiar with Yeezys, this is very similar to a pair of foam runners, and if you're not familiar with Yeezys, it's also very similar to a pair of Boost sneakers. I mean, just squeezing the footbed of both of these shoes, it's noticeable how much softer this shoe is, and especially on foot, it really feels like you're almost walking on clouds. It's crazy. Now, I will say that the texture on the newer YEEZY Slides, because they did change up the texture last year, the texture actually makes this shoe a little bit stickier on foot, so this will grab your foot a little bit better than previous YEEZY Slides. However, in some cases it can cause some rubbing around the sides of my foot, which I'm not a huge fan of. It's really only when I don't wear a pair of socks, and that might not even be the case for everyone. However, if you are looking for a pair of socks to pair with your YEEZY Slides, I definitely recommend grabbing a pair of Apothecary socks, which is my sock brand. We make the best socks ever. They're super comfortable and they look great with your sneakers. If you guys want to check out Apothecary, there is a link to do so in the description below. However, when it comes to the Adidas Adilette 22s, while I do prefer to wear these shoes with socks, you can get away with wearing them without socks, and that's mainly because the finish on this foam is a little bit more semi-gloss than the finish on the YEEZY Slides, which means it doesn't stick to your foot as much, which in a lot of ways makes the fit a little bit worse, but at the same time, it doesn't rub against your foot as much as this shoe does. But again, as far as overall comfort, I've got to give it to the Yeezys. These shoes are incredibly soft underfoot. I don't know what it is about this EVA foam. It's so much less dense. It just feels so much softer underfoot, and if you prefer a more firm ride, go with the Adilette 22s, but in my opinion, this is a shoe that you can wear all day and you're going to feel great. Finally, let's talk about fit. And unfortunately, both of these shoes are Adidas shoes, which means their fit is all over the place. So the Adidas Adilette 22, especially in my size, is a very weird shoe. For me, the shoe was listed as a US 9 and also a UK 9, which is weird because UK 9s are actually US 10s. So that kind of threw me for a loop. And also, you can't grab this shoe in half sizes, so if you're half size, you're gonna have some trouble there too. So as far as sizing recommendations go for the Adidas Adilette 22, if you're a full size like me, a full size 9, go with your true size. However, it will fit maybe a little bit long and also a little bit wide. I mean, let's be real, it fits big. Not a huge amount big and not enough to where I'd say go down a whole size, but it definitely fits a little bit big. On the other hand, for half size footed people, this shoe fits great. If you're a size 9.5, grab a size 9 or any half size down and the shoe will fit you great. It always bothers me that Adidas can never get their sizing right. They can't just call a shoe a size 9 and make it a size 9. It's always a half size big or a half size small or something ridiculous. Other brands always seem to get it right. Adidas always has issues and I don't know why. Getting into the YEEZY Slides though, the story is just as interesting, and that's because for the first 2 years of the YEEZY Slides releasing, the sizing was also all over the place. However, unlike with the Adilettes, these slides fit small, so if you were size 9, you'd want to grab a size 10. But that all changed when Yeezy released the ochre colorway, which is sort of a medium brown colored pair of YEEZY Slides. Now the difference between the ochres and any of the previous slides like the pures or the resins is that the ochres actually fit true to size, and it seems like moving forward, Adidas has adjusted their sizing, so slides like the Onyx, which just recently released, all seem to fit true to size. Again, this doesn't make any sense to me. I'm glad that they fixed the sizing, at least on the YEEZY Slide, so that you can grab a true size and be good with your true size, but you never know with Adidas. You're always gonna have to read online to make sure that the shoe that you're getting in that particular color fits a certain way. So as far as sizing goes, I guess I have to give it to the YEEZY Slides because the newer versions of this shoe do fit true to size. However, if you look at the total span of Yeezy Slides, the sizing of these slides is way more inconsistent than these because there's only been 3 colorways of these to release, and they're probably not going to change the sizing of this shoe, but you never know. So after covering all of those categories, the winner is the Adidas YEEZY Slide. While this shoe is not the cheapest shoe, both in retail price and definitely not in resale price, this shoe is incredibly comfortable. It fits relatively true to size if you grab a newer colorway, and design-wise, at least in my opinion, and I think the court of public opinion, this shoe looks better. That being said, the Adidas Adilette 22 is not a bad slide. It's a little bit cheaper, it's a little bit easier to get, it's got a very unique look, and if you like a firmer feel underfoot, you're going to want to go with the Adilette 22s, because while it is a little bit firmer than the Yeezy Slides, it's not uncomfortably firm. It's actually a very comfortable shoe. But now I would love to know your thoughts on the Yeezy Slides versus the Adilette 22s, and which one of these 2 slides you prefer. So make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.